Yeah, well, particularly the first 20 minutes, we had to really dig in. They had a lot of possession, about 75, 77%, and they were attacking well, had field position, so it was an important part of the game because if they got out a bit there, we know they're a front-running team. So we hung in there, got a bit of momentum back, took our opportunities well, and went into half-time in a good position. But then we made a couple of mistakes after half-time, let them back in the game. But what I was really impressed by the players was their ability to refocus and reset after we had a problem in the game, and that's a great development of the team, and great job by Owen as captain.
Next question. Thanks.
Eddie, Carl Sinclair had quite a startling game today, quite an impressive game. Can you assess his contribution?
Well, tight head prop's always assessed by his scrummaging, and he scrummed really well, so we're very happy with that. And then he finds himself in an advantageous attack position, gets a great ball from Owen, and he's not short of athletic ability. He was charging along, wasn't he? Looked like a runaway rhino. But he's a footballer that's I've really impressed about how hard he's working at his game, how hard he's worked at areas where he hasn't been great, particularly work off the ball, and that's a big part of his development as a rugby player.
And the way that Henry Slade came in after being injured, he had a key role in Johnny May's try. How pleased were you with the way he fitted back in?
Yeah, well, we're pleased with selection. 10, 12 and 13 had a lot of defensive work early in the game, and we thought that might happen. And then, so Slade did a great job. And then I thought George Ford came on in the second half and was absolutely spectacular. Filled his role superbly, kept turning Australia around when we needed to, helped Darwin with the tactical side of the game, particularly when the game was opening up, so we were pleased with that selection.
This was one of England's biggest World Cup wins for years now. How much confidence does that give you going into the key stages?
Well, we just want to keep challenging ourselves. You know, we haven't played at our best yet. And the challenge for us is how we get better next week. You know, how do we get better individually as a player? How do we get better as a team? And, you know, these World Cups, that's what it's about. You go from the quarterfinal to the semi-final, and the semi-finals are always, you know, probably the toughest game of the tournament because you've got two teams desperate to make the final. Everyone empties the tank. And you've got to find some way in the week's preparation to get a little bit better. So our challenge this week as a playing squad and a coaching squad is how we find ways to get better. So we've already decided we'll have a bit of a rest early in the week and then start training a little bit later.
Thanks. Here in the front row, next to the back.
Owen, can you just talk about the mental strength of your players and their ability to hang in there in those very difficult moments?
Not under the post. After the half time was probably the biggest one, and the boys were calm. The boys were completely in control, and we just had clear messages about what we're going to do next. There was a tiny bit of a fix-up, but it weren't really about what happened. It was more about what's going to happen next, and they ripped into that, and we managed to get some points back straight away.
Eddie, Tom Curry was man of the match, and I'm sure Sam Underhill wasn't far behind. What was your assessment of the importance of those two, given the quality of their opponents?
Well, you know, Australia's a big physical team, and then they play the two smaller guys, Hooper and Pocock, who we know over the last 10 years have been right at the top level of fetching play. And we had to compete in that area hard, and I thought Curry and Underhill did really well. Yeah, the young fella Luddenham, when he came on in the second half, also did particularly well for us. And, you know, the effort from Billy today, given he's only done a couple of training sessions, was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Maybe it helps him having his wife here. So we're going to make sure his wife stays next week.
Eddie, it was a big day for Johnny May, his 50th appearance and 2 tries. How do you assess that? And also, how is he? He looked like he was limping when he came off.
Yeah, no, it's a great achievement to play 50 caps for your country, and there's probably not a more professional player than him. And, you know, his trademark is his ability to finish opportunities, and he did that brilliantly today. He just got a little bit of a twinge at the end of the game, so we thought we'd just take him off. So he should be fine.
Yeah, third row with the hand up. Yeah, third row, thanks.
Eddie, what did you make of the tip tackle on Billy Vunipola not getting looked at by the TMO?
Well, I think I've been pretty consistent in that effort area. We don't concern ourselves with the referee's decisions. We take whatever he makes. They're human. And we're happy to accept whatever ruling it was.
Eddie, do you have any sympathy for the Australians, given your background and the inevitable fallout from this result for them?
Look, it's tough when you lose a game, and particularly at this level of the World Cup. At this moment, not a lot of sympathy, no. Because I'm enjoying the win, and I think I'm allowed to enjoy the win. Maybe later in the week I might. So ask me that later in the week.
Yeah, just keep your hand up. Yeah, here.
Hi, Eddie. We know you started the game with Owen at number 10 and Slade at number 13. We also, then after George Ford came in, you always had 2 fly halves on the field. We know the All Blacks are doing the same with Richie Monga and Gordon Barrett. Is it the new standard of playing, you know, having the most number of playmakers on the field today?
Well, I saw a little chubby bloke in the television studio, Rod Kafer. He's actually lost a bit of weight. He looks quite well. Is he here, Case? No, he's not here. So we, you know, traditionally, this is now 25 years ago, we used to play with 2 standoffs. One chunky, one slender. And they were a great complement to each other. So I don't think it's a new thing in the game. You know, you look back at the great Crusaders side, they had Carter and Aaron Major playing together. So I think it just happens that the game evolves, and at certain times it's useful, and particularly the way the game is at the moment. You saw the amount of contests at the breakdown today. You know, it's hard to get fast ball, so your ability to find space through having 2 guys who have got great vision is certainly an advantage.
Eddie, this is kind of an obvious question, but you made a big call dropping George Ford. It was certainly interpreted as a big call. You presumably feel vindicated by that, by the result?
Well, I didn't drop him, mate. I changed his role. So I know you guys struggle with that, but he changed his role and it was brilliant. So are we vindicated? We're happy that he played his role well. Maybe you guys have got to start reporting differently. Maybe you've got to stop reporting like you did 30 years ago. Come into the modern rugby. Join us. Join us. There's the invitation there to join us, guys. Rugby's changed. It's a 23-man game. Join us. What's your email address? I'll send you a personal email.
Okay. Just here, yeah.
Question for Owen. So today, 8 from 8 with the boot. You must be pretty pleased with that. Two things. One, you must feel good going forward into the semis. And did you tweak anything from the previous games?
Yeah, well, obviously we practice a fair bit. So yeah, there was a few things that I tweaked from missing a few from the last game. We've had a good long preparation, so felt good going into it. And now the work starts again when we start training again.
Okay, yeah, just here.
Eddie, before the match, you talked about samurai spirit. Did you see that? And can you just talk about the spirit and the belief amongst this group of guys that they can go on and achieve something?
Well, it's a do-or-die game today. Everyone understands that, and you know, the best samurais were always the guys who had a plan, but they could adapt. They had a calm head, but they were full of aggression. And I thought we were pretty much like that today. But again, the challenge is how we get better, because there's always a better samurai around the corner. And so we've got to continue to get better.
Scott, you've said this week that you had a few tricks up your sleeve. England have held a few things back, not that sleeve. Was that build up to the first try, that move with Slade taking the ball to the line and then playing it out back? Was that one of the ones you've held back?
Look, we adjust each week, so we thought that would work against Australia, just the way they defend. So the boys were good during the week. They were the ones who actually said, yeah, let's give this a go, and then they executed pretty well. So, you know, that's this week. Next week's a new proposition.
Okay, just time for 2 last questions. Both at the back, one there and one there with the hand up. Thanks.
Owen, I know you are a great leader. Regarding leadership, what's your message?
What from this game or going forward?
Yeah, going forward.
No, we'll recover first. We'll make sure we rest and make sure that we come into next week feeling good. This was a good performance, but we don't feel like we're at our best yet. We're going to have a look at what we can do to make sure we're getting towards our best next week, because we're going to have to probably be better. So we're looking forward to working that out.
Okay, last question in the back row there with the hand up. Thanks.
エディさんに改めて今回そのファレルさんを10番に戻した意図で、今回そのことによってファレルさんが元のポジションに持って非常にいいプレーをしたと思うんですけど、どういうふうに評価してますか？
素晴らしい。もうオプションの判断は上手。ゴールキッキングは 100%. So we're really happy the way he went today. Whether he plays 10 week, we're not sure. He doesn't know. At this stage, we don't know, but we'll make a decision. The other thing I'd just say, what a fantastic quarter-final. Great stadium, good atmosphere, you know, a lot of Australian supporters, a lot of English supporters, a lot of Japanese people. So it's a great credit to the tournament and what a good job they're doing. Yeah, we've been lucky enough to be in Miyazaki and have some great beef, and now I've been in Beppu, and there's 8 onsens in Beppu. There's 8. But we haven't found much else yet, so we're looking.
On that note, thank you very much, gentlemen. If we could just let the 3 guys leave the room, and then the mix zone will open in a few minutes' time. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Well done.